Hello from the Student Help Center. This is Chris. I want to thank Roy for submitting this question for me to kind of take a look at. This one's a good one. It's from the Gold Coast queue of questions. So for all the Gold Coast students out there, maybe you struggled with this one. So hopefully this video will help kind of walk us through. And I in the beginning, I made a kind of a simple error, and I'm going to show you what I did the first time I did this and could not get the right answer. So I'll show you the mistake I made, and hopefully that'll help you to prevent from making that one. So I wanted to kind of go through it. So it looks kind of like a long question, and my strategy always for these long questions is to just go to the end of it and read the end first. I want to just see what is it they really want from me. So if there's any extra information in here, I can just eliminate it or ignore it. You'll see that strategy works on quite a few questions on the state test. So let's see, what do they want from me? They want to bring both lots. Let me get my annotation tool here going. They want to bring both lots to a uniform average elevation of plus 3.62. So I'm just going to kind of write that down. Okay, plus 3.62. This is where I want to be. Okay, so now I kind of have an idea. All right, so I want to be at this average elevation. So let's see what we have. Basically, it says we're clearing two lots. This is irrelevant, really. We don't need to know that. What I need to know is the dimensions of these lots. So the first lot, they're saying, is 100 feet north-south by 265 feet, 8 inches east-west. And that's the mistake I made. I put 265 feet, 6 inches. So that was, my numbers were not coming out. So, so now we're going to pay closer attention to read the question. That's what instructor Dominic always says, read the question. So we're going to draw, I like to draw out my math problems if I can. It's just that I'm a visual person. So we're going to say the first lot line is 100 feet north-south. So that's going to be this dimension, 100 feet. And the other dimension is 265 feet, 8 inches. Okay, 8 inches, not 6. Okay, so we got that right. The second lot is going to be, let's see, second lot's here, 125 north-south by 321 feet, 6 inches on this one, east-west. So this one's oriented a little bit differently. It's kind of oriented like a rectangle like this. Perfect. So we're going to say it's 125 feet, 6 inches north-south. And east-west, it's going to be 321 feet, 6 inches. Okay, so we have our first lot here. We have our second lot here. We're in good shape. So far, so good. Now we want to put in, it gives us our elevations at the north sides of the lots and our elevations at the south sides of the lots. And it's telling us they slope uniformly, which is important because now we can just take the average elevation of the lot and we can find the average elevation and then find the difference of the average elevation versus where we want to be. We want to be here. So let's see, let's again, write down the information. It's going to be helpful so we don't make any mistakes. So the first lot it's saying is going to be at plus 5.75 feet at the north side. And at the south side, it's going to be plus 4.65 feet. And let's look at the second lot is our high point at the north side is plus 5.25 feet. And our elevation at the south side is plus 3.76 feet. So first step, we need to find our average elevation. So for lot 1, we've got 5.75 feet plus 4.65 feet. That's a 5. And we're going to divide that by 2. So let's get our calculator up and running here. So we've got 5.75 plus 4.65 equals divided by 2. we got 5.2 feet. So our average elevation is 5.2 feet for lot 1. Now for lot 2, it's going to be 5.25 feet plus 3.76 feet. And all that divided by 2. Let's see what we got. And so now we have 5.25 plus 3.76 and divide that by 2. 4.505. So how should we round this to 4.51? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna round it to 4.51 because I don't like dealing with 3 decimal places. That 3 is too many for me. I'm 2 is my max. So I'm gonna do 4.51 for the purposes of this question. Okay, 4.51. And I will tell you guys, anytime you're dealing with volume, concrete, or excavations, it's never going to be an exact answer because there's just too many rounding and you don't know what type of rounding the state test makers did. So you're just going to pick the one that's the closest answer. Usually on the state exam, they give you a range. So on this question, they don't give you a range, but usually you'll see it as a range. So as long as it falls in that range, should be in good shape. So step 1, we found the average elevations. Okay, now our next step is we need to find whether or not we need to either cut, which is remove dirt from these lots, or if we need to add dirt or fill to these lots. So we know where we want to be, again, is 3.62. So I'm at average elevation for the lot 1 is 5.2. So we need to be at 3. I'm going to subtract that out, 0.62. All right, and then the lot 2, the same thing. We need to be at 3.62. So we know we're going to need to cut, right? Because we got to take some of we're too high. We're too high on average on these lots. So 5.2 minus 3.62 is 1.58. So we know we have 1.58 feet of cut for lot 1, right? And let's see about lot 2. We've got 4.51 minus 3.62. So that's 0.89. And again, that's going to be our cut is 0.89 feet of cut. This 1.58 and this 0.89, what that really is that's our depth. That's our depth of the lot that we need to remove, the fill. So if we are, the area of something is a length times a width, or 2 dimensions, and the volume of something is a length times a width times a depth, or 3 dimensions. So first thing we need to do after this, our next step, I'm going to call this step 2. We'll say step 1 was just find the average elevation and the difference between your cut and your fill. So we're going to say step 2, I'm going to go up here. Step 2 is to calculate our volume of each lot, okay? So for lot 1, they give us the dimensions and we kind of already wrote them out here, so that's helpful. We need to do 265 feet 8 inches times 100 feet. Now that's going to be our area. We can also we already know our basically our depth that we need to cut from this is 1.58. So we can just calculate the volume right now. We don't even need to worry about doing the area first because we already found our cut. So we can multiply that times 1.58. Save us a step here. Now for lot 2, we know we're going to be at 321 feet 6 inches times 125 feet 6 inches. And then we know our cut is going to be, our depth is going to be 0.89 feet times 0.89 feet. So now we can actually calculate the volume for each lot. So let's do it on the calculator. 265 feet, 8 inches times 100 feet times 1.58 feet. Now, I love how you can enter the feet in decimals on this calculator. Saves you a lot of mistakes. If you're using a regular calculator, this is a tricky thing to convert. So 1.58, that should give us our volume. Now, it gives us volume in cubic feet, and we know that some of our options are in cubic feet. I like to do everything in cubic yards with excavation and concrete. We can always convert back to feet if we need to, and we might have to at the end. But let's just see. So I'm going to do it in cubic yards. So you just toggle back and forth on this calculator. It converts it to feet to yards. It's very useful. So I'm going to say it's 1555. So I have 1555 cubic yards here. And let's do the second lot. Second lot is 321 feet 6 inches times 125 feet 6 inches times 0.89 feet equals, so gives us cubic feet. I want to just go to yards. So I'm going to say 1330. It's a nice round number. So on this one, we have 1330 cubic yards. Now step 3 is we're just going to add volume of cut for each lot. So we're going to add these together. Now let's see what happens. So 1555 plus 1330, that gives you 2885. Okay, 2885 cubic yards. Now, let's go to the answers and see if any of these are cubic yards. Okay, 77,684 cubic yards. Nope. 2879, kind of close, but look at that. That's in cubic feet. This is in cubic yards. So no. 77,684 cubic feet. No. And 5659 cubic yards. No. So, maybe we made a mistake. But remember, we can always convert this to cubic feet if we want to. So the calculator is a little finicky on this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add these back into the system. So 1555, I'm going to say yard, yard, yard. So I'm telling the calculator it's cubic yards plus 1330 yard, 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 cubic yards, so equals. So I'm getting back to the calculator's telling me it's 2885, but in this case, cubic yards. So I want to just click feet. So in cubic feet, I have 77,895. So that's okay. So let me just write that down. So this is the same thing. This equals 77,895 cubic feet. Now, as one of those works, so let's go back to our answer, 77684 cubic yards. So no, that's yards. So that's too much. 2879 cubic feet, that's too little. 5659 cubic yards. No, that didn't match, but look what we have here. We have one that's pretty close. 77,684 is very close to 77,895 cubic feet. This is the right units of measure, very close to the number. I would say on this one, we are at answer C. So I hope that helped you guys. If there's any questions, you can reach out to me, Chris at epwc.us. You can visit the Facebook page at Exam Prep with Chris, or you can always visit the website, www.epwc.us. Enjoy that. I hope you found that useful, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks so much.